Welcome back to your academic English professor, and today we're looking at false friends. And the first question here is, well, what is a false friend? Well, as you can see, according to the Macmillan Dictionary, it is defined as a word in a language that has a different meaning from a similar sounding word in another language. Is that just words? Well, let's have a look at some examples and make it clearer. Now, a common and straightforward one to begin with is the word sensible. Now, sensible in other languages would mean sensitive, but in English it means something different. It means to be reasonable, to be responsible, to be practical, and means the opposite of being stupid. It's important to note, though, that a false friend in one language is not automatically a false friend in another language, as we can see here with the word pass, as in pass an exam, which would be linked to the words passer or pasar in French and Spanish respectively. In Spanish, it is not a false friend, but in French it is. The most common example of this phenomenon in my classes is the word actually, and students use this word to talk about something that's happening presently or now in their lives or in the world around them. That is not the case. Actually does not relate to time. In the situation where you're using actually, you probably need to say something else, such as currently, nowadays, at the moment, these days. Instead, when you're using the word actually, what you mean is in fact. And there are some examples of how to use that here, and I encourage people also in the comments below to practice with other sentences where you're using the word actually. Interestingly, in fact is linked to another false friend, effectively. Note firstly, effectively does not mean in fact. Actually, in fact, it means to be efficient, useful or productive, as seen in these sentences where things such as people or medicines are seen to be working efficiently or adequately. It can also mean in effect, as in some other languages, and some examples of that are shown here. Here we have a number of examples of commonly seen false friends, and we will look at some of these in more detail during the rest of this lesson. Firstly, we will look at a common false friend problem, the words assist and reunion. Now, the meaning of these words is very different from their European counterparts. So the girl here in the graphic is not expressing what she wants to say. Actually, assist means to help. Reunion means a social event for people who haven't seen each other for a long time. What she meant to say was that she had attended a meeting, very different from what she wanted to say. So there you have it. Assistat is to attend, and a reunion is a meeting. Okay, the next ones here I think are more straightforward. Firstly, you have to arrive to do something. Arrive in English would be to arrive at a place, which is not the meaning here. In this case, you mean to manage to do something or to be successful in doing something like that, not arrive to. The second one, animate, would be to host a meeting. Animate in English is to draw like a cartoon, like Tom and Jerry or The Simpsons or Family Guy, something like that. Remark and notice are very different. Remark is something, in English, is something that you say. You make a remark to somebody. Oh, your hair is nice, or the weather is nice. But in other languages, it means to notice or to see something. Again, very different. Yeah, journey and day. Journey is when you travel to a place, of course, and journée would be a day, completely different, totally different. Rentable in English is to be profitable. Rentable would mean something that you can rent or hire. For example, renting, you could rent a car, you could rent an apartment, you could rent a movie. Chance, lucky, be careful with that one as well. Once again, just keep practicing. We'll give examples below. The more you practice, the more you think about it, the more natural it will become, and you will eliminate these common mistakes. Another false friend that sometimes appears in the classes is the word eventually. Now, in other languages, it means possibly or maybe, or it can mean something like occasionally. This is very different to English, where the meaning is nearer to finally, ultimately, in the long run, at the end, words like that. So the examples here will hopefully make things clearer. Once again, if you want to practice, please do so in the comments section below. Right, the final one we're going to look at is the word realize, which is a type of false friend. The reason why I say that is because it actually has two meanings in English. The first meaning is very similar in other languages, where it means to achieve a goal or a plan, succeed in doing something. Now, the second meaning is actually much more common in English and is very different in other languages. And in this context, it means to acknowledge, to grasp, to understand something. Finally, to finish, a couple more examples of false friends here. Now, what I'd encourage people to do is to maybe practice some sentences below in the comment section using the language from today. Also, if you think of other examples of false friends, you can also add those, make some sentences with those. And if there are enough of them, I will make a sequel to this particular lesson. How exciting. Anyway, bye-bye for now. Take care.